Hey guys, welcome into another episode. Man, it has been way too long since I've been on the server. Or I guess I should say at least recorded on the server. Because it's been one of those times where your life is just so busy that you don't have time to record. But as you can see behind me, we were able to get a little bit of playing time on here. I've started adding some custom trees. I got one here, one there, one there. And if I come over here, you'll see one more and a house. Whoops, I didn't record an episode. You know those times when you just want to play Minecraft? You don't want to focus on trying to record or do anything impressive? Well, I built a house. Now, this house is not just a house. It is also a farm inside. We've got some different villagers. I guess not different. They're all, what are these called? Man, why am I blanking? Farmer. Man, it's too early in the morning. We got two farmer villagers down here. We've got two more upstairs. And the idea here is that these guys are coming over. Oh, I thought maybe he was going to do it live for us. But if you haven't seen these kinds of farms before, he's going to harvest those, try and throw it to this guy. And if we come back down, let's just jump. I've got it all, so it's filtering right down here. Now we're not going to need a lot of these. Like, the cool thing about being on this SMP is that we have so many things over in our shopping district that we don't need this to be a mega farm. But as you can see, kind of in this world of color, I still don't know what we're calling this area. You can see we now have red, we have this color of green, we have this greenish blue, and I think we are getting some pretty good coloring, and this one was so fun to build. I think when you start looking at some of the sight lines, it really plays pretty well into what we're trying to do, is get this sight line that as you curve a corner, there's a house you want to go see. We put the big tree here so it kind of does it. But now, if you start looking, we have a few different ideas popping up here. We have an idea popping up over there, and an idea popping up there on top of the hill. So over the last few months, I've really been trying to focus on just building things inside of Minecraft, not going into creative and then building something and bringing it in here and just building up what I had in creative, but really just playing survival. That's really what I love about Minecraft. And so we're going to do that. We're going to sometimes mess up and build something that looks horrible. And sometimes we're going to make things that look pretty amazing. I think for the most part, we've done pretty good in this world. But as you can see, I'm laying out these color palettes to really start understanding what can we do in the orange family, the yellow family. Up there, we've got kind of your reds and your pinks. Back there, we have a purple one. And that's really to help me kind of figure out what kind of color palette do we want to do. And then laying out the building. Do any of you lay out buildings like this? I don't know. Sometimes I do it in dirt. This time I've done it in stone. But the idea is that we know kind of where we come into the building. There's going to be a bee farm on the left over here, a bee farm on the right, and then the path is going to continue up here. So that's really how I start thinking about buildings, is laying out roughly the shape I want, kind of counting out the spaces, and seeing if the thing that's in my head is going to work well in the world. So for this one, I think we're going to go with a honey theme. Now, originally when I thought honey, I thought maybe we'll use some of the orange side. And I think that's wrong. I think we got to go yellow. And I was thinking maybe we use the sandstone color with this, but that might not be bee-ish enough. I don't know if bee-ish is a word, but I'm thinking maybe we go with like a black stone or a deep slate, so it kind of has that yellow and black feeling. And so what I'm going to do next is hopefully sleep to get rid of some of this rain. And then we're going to start at least building up kind of the shape that we're looking for. See if the color palette works, and then we'll kind of go from there. Okay, I think we have our color palette nailed down. We're going to go with that dark and with the yellow. I think maybe the honeycomb is a little too orange, so we might just use that kind of as decorative blocks, and these two are going to be our main. Now, I don't have enough yellow, so what we're going to do is actually run into that bench and fly over here. I don't know how much I've shown off. Man, there's so much new stuff around here. You gotta go check out the other crafters. But I don't know if I've shown off this sheep farm. But we're gonna come get some yellow wool here from Melissa's, I don't remember what she calls it anymore. Valhalla, there you go. We've got all the sheep in here that we need. Let's see, pay here. 1 diamond, 2 stacks. Sweet, so we need some yellow. We're gonna grab some of that out. We'll move that over. Let's come up and let's make sure 1 diamond for 2 stacks. Perfect. There's the 1 diamond. That is such a good deal. And then let's fly over here because I'm also gonna need some yellow dye for that yellow concrete. And Millie has an amazing dye shop over here, which I've probably used way too many times. I should probably just build some of my own farms. But man, it's too easy on this server just to go get stuff. And I think this is just called, oh, it's right here. Flour, 5 and dye. There you go, the 5 and dime reference. And let's see. Oh, good. I was gonna say, is it just the flowers? But it looks like we've got it. And it is 1 diamond for 2 stacks. Man, this is a cheap shopping trip. I love that. I hope that's where I'm supposed to put it, Millie. If it's not, let me know if I put it in the wrong spot. Yeah, I think it's just there. Price is marked on the barrel. Perfect. So that's going to get us the yellow things that we need. I need to go make some concrete and get it all in place. And it looks like it's getting dark. So perfect time to sleep. We'll get the materials we need. And let's at least get a facade on and see if it's looking good. Okay, a little concepting later, and I don't know. I think we're headed in the right direction. I love that it's kind of these stripes, the idea that, you know, it's going to wrap around a corner. Now I'm taking some inspiration from the shape that we have over here on our barn. I really like the idea of how this barn is a little bit more on the curved side because these ones are very much the traditional roofs. So I kind of like that it's curved. I'm thinking of doing the same thing here, and maybe it's too tall. Maybe that's the problem. I don't know. Let's check it again. Now for this area, that's what I'm trying to decide is we have a little bit smaller houses. And so I don't know. I mean, that one's getting a little big. These two are a little on the smaller side. And so maybe this is just too tall. Like maybe that's what's happening. Or maybe I need to like pull the stripes up through. So it's not this big patch of yellow. Yeah, maybe that's what I'll try. Maybe I'll try putting like some stairs in here to give it a little bit more window depth. Do the same through here, and maybe we just go really stripey. Or maybe I put a black roof on. I don't know. I'm going to play with a few concepts and see what I'm liking. Okay, I think we might be onto something. Is this a little over the top? Oh man, for sure. Like when you think about these others looking so much like real builds, this feels a little maybe too on the nose. I don't know. But I'm really liking that it's this color. I think if we put the roof on, it's going to look a lot better. It's going to look a lot like we're just using color. And maybe the bee stripes are a little too strong. But we're going with it. Because I think it's going to look just fine. And we're going to pull out a piece that comes over here. A piece on the other side. Oh, and now that I'm saying that, I was just going to make those yellow and have kind of the yellow out the side. I wonder if I try and make them look a little more like the bee's wings. Maybe that's getting way too far into this. I don't know, but let's try it. Let's maybe play with one side that's just the yellow kind of mimicked out with some windows. And then maybe the other side that's a good color that goes with it. And see if we can make it feel like wings without it looking like wings. Like I think it's just going to have kind of that flat pitched roof that's going to come out the side. Oh yeah, now that I'm saying that, you can see what's going through my brain as I try and go through these builds. But I think it's going to kind of mimic again this, but not so wide. So the idea that we have the curved roof, we have this flat pitched roof, and then the bees will be in there. Yeah, I think I'm going to like that because this one's a lot shorter. They don't come out as far. And so I think that it won't look too much like we're repeated because the strong colors here and then the side wings. All right, let's do it. One yellow, one that looks more like the wing color, and we'll pick which one we like. So I don't have it all the way built out, but I'm pretty sure I'm getting a good idea. Like I think I liked the yellow concept. Until you think about someone coming into our village, and man, that's going to be a lot of yellow if we use that. I don't know if we quite want that much because a lot of these other houses, it's a hint of color or a decent amount, but they look pretty good. And if we look at this, it feels like maybe that's too much yellow. Yeah, I think it's too much, like that'd be just this big old blob of yellow, where most of the time we try and either mute it down a tiny bit or we have the accents in the right place. Now, a roof would do a lot for this, but the reason I kind of got to that thought is if we come down and go to this other side, I used some bone blocks. And as you can see, I think having this out is almost like the bee's wings, like we mentioned. I thought maybe it'd look a little too on the nose, but I think it's okay because I think this will be like the main portion. These are like the little wings. They're wings anyways, and there's going to be bees in there. Where if we use the yellow and even the black glass, I feel like maybe it'll be too hard to see the bees because they'll be yellow and black and the bees are yellow and black. Or I think they're yellow and brown in Minecraft. But I think that's just too much yellow. I'd rather be able to see the bees flying around and not get distracted. So I think we're done with the yellow on these sides. We'll keep it on the inside walls. But I think we are moving over and going to do the bone blocks. I think that's just the right of white to balance all the color. Yeah, we're making a decision. We're rolling with it. So let me get that kind of facade up. And then we'll get some of the roof on, and I think we're going to be there. Oh, I just said be. I don't know. We're not going to be there. We're going to be there. Oh, let me just get this done. My puns are going sideways. Okay, so do you ever get to a point where you just cut it in half and say, do I like one side or do I like the other? So I'm looking at this, trying to decide, do I like the warmer palette over here kind of with the roof? Or do I like the black? I'm a little worried that over on this side, the black and white seem a little too achromatic like some of the other maps I've played on. But what I'm thinking is now that I'm starting to see this warmer side, like I know black and brown don't always go together well, but I think because we're trying to keep this like a bee farm, I think it's going to play out okay. Like I was a little worried because originally I had black on black, and you just lost the whole roof line. But I think this warmness is going to help draw in a lot better with kind of the rest of the area. Like if we look at it, for the most part, the buildings are pretty warm. That one gets a little on the cooler side, but at least you have the colors that pop. And I worry that if we have a dark roof over here, the first thing you're going to come into the city and see is a black roof and a white wall. Not sure that's going to work. So I do think we're going to go with the brown. But when I talk about not building in creative, this is what I mean. Sometimes you come up with some weird combinations, but you got to try them out. Make sure you know what looks good. I do think we're going to go with the brown. So I'm going to get that converted over. See if we can figure out at least like maybe this side of the roof line and make sure we're making it look good. Okay, and now it comes down to the hardest decision. Which one do I go with? What roof color? I'm in free cam mode right now. But I'm trying to figure out, do I like kind of to stick with one color? Do I want to go with kind of the trim and black? Or do I make it kind of mixed in? Man, this is what is always a hard decision. I don't know if I love the wood on wood. That might be okay, but I might be leaning to doing another dark roof. I know we have one over there, but these other ones aren't. And so I think it would be okay here. We just want to make sure that we don't do like a dark roof on that one or a dark roof across the street from it. And I think this is going to tie in a little bit more to the black in the building. Yeah, that's what we're going to do. It's a black roof. Let's go. Okay, and we actually got a lot more done. I didn't realize I'd do the roof and a bunch of the walls. But as you can see, it's really coming along. Now, a couple things that I've done is started adding some details. Making it feel a little bit better is looking kind of plain. And really that's where you start winning, is putting these little details in, the fences coming down, the fences along there. Now I still got to figure out what I'm going to do. Do I do a door? Maybe an open door? I don't know, but at least we're starting to get some of the details in there. Let's fly up here for a second and you can kind of get a glimpse of what this looks like. I think it's turning out really well. Now it's super bright. But in the city, I'm really wanting those type of details to be bright, stand out, and I don't think it'll be too bad once we get like some bigger trees in here. because everywhere you see kind of these dirt pillars is where we're going to be sticking trees. And that's really what's going to help not make this stand out so far, because right now you can see it from clear back away. But once we get some of the trees in, it's going to fit into the landscape just right. The other thing I got to show you is here inside. So inside, we're going to have two different sides with bees. Now I got to finish the roof here, but what the idea is that we have these dispensers that we'll be shooting, and these will replace with the actual beehives, but they will be in here. The bees will come out. We'll probably put flowers in some cool pattern down here on the ground. So they'll come out, fly around, and fly back in. So we've got one on that side, one on this side. As you can see, I still have some holes to clean up. Maybe the roof. I don't know that we need the roof that high, but that'll be the easy spot for the bees. Now, all the redstone, I gotta decide, it runs kind of across the side here. Normally you run it through the back, but this will work just fine. It'll go read through the side, and I don't think the bees will get out. Fingers crossed, as long as we point the hives in the right way. And I gotta decide here on the interior, do I want to show that redstone or hide it behind a wall? Not sure, but I'm gonna get some decorating done and see if we can get the bees in. So let me get that decorating on the interior done. Might get a little more on the outside, and then we'll wrap it up. Okay, and we've made a lot of progress getting in a bunch of details, kind of starting to flesh out the area. Now, I'm not sure if I like the trees here in the front. It almost feels like it's blocking it too much. We'll look at it from the other side and you can help me decide. But I think I might actually take out this tree and this tree. I don't mind the ones on the side, but I think maybe here on the front it's getting a little too blocked. But let me show you what we've been doing on the inside. So on each side, and you can see a little bit in there, I'll give you a view from the front. But we've basically got the bees, the different hives that will come into here. I've moved all my supplies from downstairs up into here. We've done a little decoration on the sides. We've got some fake honey filling up these pots. And these are just armor stands. Isn't that so cool? Now I wish we could put honey in a cauldron, but we can't for now. But as you can see, these are producing pretty well. And so not a lot of room in here to decorate, but I think enough to make it feel like it's a real factory where the bees are producing the two different kinds. And then out here, you can see I've started two different big trees. Now I'm gonna make them look roughly like this. I want this area to feel pretty cohesive. So even though we're doing different build styles, different color palettes, I want some elements like the trees, like these taller grasses, to really kind of make it feel unique or cohesive. So that way when we have unique buildings, they still feel like they're part of one landscape and one area. So now that we're on this other side, you can really see how you can see a lot more of the building on this side. And that's what I'm kind of liking, is that as we're walking around, that even though there might be some trees, that there's enough of the building to see. So that's why I'm considering tearing down those other ones, is I feel like they're maybe just blocking the front too much. But one thing I always do, and I think if you followed me long enough, you'll see that I love to think about sightlines. So coming around here, that's going to be blocked a little, but you'll get enough of the yellow to kind of keep you coming around. Same here, that brings you around right there. And then when these block it off, it's going to create kind of a cool peak of, I think that's K-Hug's building, where you can see it. You'll come around, oh, there's another sightline. And I love just looking at those. So that's what I continue to do as I kind of build out our landscape here, is just thinking about what are these sight lines. Do we have something in the front? Do we have something in the back that always is pulling us forward? And I think we're getting there. Okay, so what's next? Next is I'm going to work offline getting these trees in. I might put a little bit of like storage out here. So maybe like this building's too small in there. And these almost look like crates. So I wonder, do we put some crates out here, make it feel like this area is being worked in? Because that is one piece that I don't know that we have enough in this city. Like last season, we had a whole bunch of people, wheelbarrows, different things all around. Right now, it's kind of empty. We have some villagers in there. We have one villager guy in there, but it feels pretty empty out here. So I think in the next episode, we're going to bring a lot more life. We might even get working on the building up there, but I want to make this area feel like people are living in it. Maybe people are running through, maybe there's kids, I don't know. But we need to start bringing some of the life. We have a lot of the landscaping in, so it is time to now bring in that life aspect. So it feels like this is not just a bunch of buildings, but an actual city. So until the next episode, please leave down in the comments what you're liking, ideas that I could change or improve on, because I think this city is really coming together, and I love that we're right by spawn. So if you have any ideas, leave them down in the comments. And until next time, we'll talk to you soon.